Hello, it's Sherry from Tranquility Soul Spa live in your feed. Hello. And I've never actually gone live in YouTube before. So, welcome, YouTube universe. Here I am. Whoa. Don't have many subscribers yet, but we're going to build that. I'm going to transfer everybody over from Facebook. So, if you're joining me from Facebook, welcome. If you're joining me from YouTube, welcome. Either way, hit that subscribe button and let's get started, shall we? Okay, so today I want to talk about something that has really come up for me over the last little while. Something that I've actually fought for most of my life, but I'm going to, bring it out into the world anyways. And it is the idea that, and I'm a little nervous telling you guys this, but, it is what it is. It's the idea that no matter how much work I've done on myself, how much transformation I have achieved, how much more confidence I have, how much more security I feel, how much more I feel in my life, I still struggle with the language that I use. I still struggle with the words that spill out of my mouth. I still struggle with playing the victim in my language. And it's subtle. It is subtle, you guys. I actually just recently went through all of my marketing materials and went, oh my God, do I really sound like this? Because I don't want to sound like that. I don't feel that way in my life now that I am myself, now that I am this person in this suit, in this meat suit. I am comfortable and confident in myself. And yet, despite that, the last couple of years, I have changed a lot about the way that I think in my head. I have changed a lot about the words that I use to talk to myself. And I still find myself using victim language, using disempowered language, using less confident language, pulling back slightly from my message, pulling back slightly from the things that need to be said and the way that they need to be said for them to be impactful for my audience. Here's the thing, and it's a big thing. The more we choose to live in our victimhood, the less likely we are to have an impact on the world. The less likely we are to have people believe in us. The less likely we are to have people choose to want to be around us. Here's the funniest part of this, though. I was very insecure and unsure in my personal life. A lot of you know the stories, you know my drama, my childhood wasn't very good. I got emotionally beat down a lot. I was bullied in school. My family was a little bit nuts. Everybody's family is a little bit nuts, but my family was a little bit nuts. And then, a series of not so nice boyfriends, and then a husband who was great at first, but then he got PTSD, and then he was mean like hell. And so for me, all of those things combined in my personal life to create kind of an insecure hot mess who didn't talk nice to herself, who didn't have good habits, who didn't have good physical, emotional, spiritual habits, and who didn't know why she was here. I struggled with that for a very long time. Professionally, however, in my professional life, I was kind of kick ass. I used different language. I had different thoughts in my head. It was honestly, they say that men are different from women in that men can compartmentalize and women tend not to be able to compartmentalize. For women, most women, things bleed through. I am very good at compartmentalizing. I am very much in my masculine when it comes to compartmentalizing. So in my work life, the thoughts that I had were confident thoughts. The words that came out of my mouth were confident words. The words that I wrote were confident words. I was very sure of myself. I was very worthy. And I knew that worth. I knew that I had good self esteem when it came to my work. I was very proud of the things that I achieved in my career. The same could not be said about my work, my home life, about anything in my home life. And so, but they were two different boxes. I would get to work and I would be this different person. And then I would go home and I would be this same soggy mess. And showing up here in my business, because it is to do with how I came out of that soggy mess, I ended up with a lot of soggy mess language. Mind blown. And it's funny because I've actually had a few people, coaches, my coaches, fellow coaches, whatever, call me out on my language over the years and be like, because I've been at this just over 2 years now, and they'd be like, you still use kind of that victim language. And I would take offense to that. Like, no, I don't. I am very confident in what I do because I am very confident in what I do. However, I still struggled with communicating these ideas around emotions, around spirituality, around the way that we talk to ourselves, around our habits. Still used a lot of victim language. I used a lot of insecure language. I used a lot of language that wasn't terribly helpful for me, for other people, for anybody. And here's the thing, when you use a lot of victim language, people don't trust you, they don't respect you, and they certainly don't believe that you are capable of providing the transformation that they expect. And they don't trust you, they don't like you, or they don't trust you, they don't like you, and they don't believe that you are worthy in your personal life of being someone who's in their social circle. We are a product, and you've heard this a million times before. We are a product of the 5 people that we spend the most time with. So you think about those 5 people and what kind of language they use in their day to day lives. Do they play the victim a lot? Or do they play confident, secure, knowing their self worth, knowing their self esteem? Do they feel empowered? Do they feel like their chest is out and their shoulders are back and they're like, I've got this? Or do they feel like this? And do they talk like this a little bit? And they're maybe a little less sure and they aren't really quite comfortable with things? Which one do the people that you're with play? Now, sometimes, here's the caveat to this, sometimes the people that we love, they pretend to have that confidence, but they don't actually feel it inside. So then those are the people that have the bluster, the bravado, the thin-skinned kind of confidence. That confidence that if you prick them even a slight bit, you're going to get rage or anger or bull of some kind. There's a lot of them in this world, isn't there? Think about that for a minute. Who do you spend the most time with? What kind of words do you use? What kind of words do they use? What kind of words do you want to use? What kinds of words do you feel are important for you? What kind of words would you like to see coming out of your mouth? Do you want victim language coming out of your mouth? Do you want to play small? Or do you want to be empowered and confident and secure and own the world? because you deserve to own the world. You absolutely deserve to own the world. You are as worthy as anyone else of owning the world, but you have to change the way that you speak in order to make that happen. You have to get out of victim language. You have to stop saying things like, I don't know, and start saying things like, I have the answer to that. You have to stop saying things like, oh, that sounds like a good idea, and start saying things like, that's a great idea. Let's take that and run with it, shall we? Now, I'm using funny voices to get my point across, but you get the point, right? The one way that we can present our energy is very disempowered. And the other way that we can present our energy is really standing in our truth and absolutely owning the world, owning the stage that we are on. And I choose to own the stage that I'm on. Now, in my Facebook group, The Shift from Stressed Out to Blissed Out, this week we are talking about naughty play. And we are talking about the idea that we need to give ourselves permission sometimes to be less busy, to unplug from the world a little bit, to let go of some of the demands and say, you know what, I really need right in this moment to relax and do nothing. And when we do that, we give ourselves some amazing permission to really truly heal ourselves, own ourselves, and create a different reality for our lives. So I invite you, if that sounds interesting, to learn a little more about that, to join my Facebook group if you haven't already. See, I'm plugging both of them here. So yeah, it's a fabulous way to absolutely deep dive a little bit more than just video and create or become part of a community of like minded women who are stepping out of their victim mode, who are choosing a different path, who are using language and self talk and habits and a good, strong reason why they want to do these things to create something different. Now, around language, just one final thing. One of the things that I see the most that this comes out in regular people who aren't coaches and whatever, doing marketing and what have you. One of the things that I see the most is in your affirmations. So many people do affirmations absolutely the wrong way, which is why I have made it one of my life's missions to fix all of your affirmations, to amp up your affirmations and create something better for you, to amp up your affirmations and allow you the freedom to really milk the affirmation process for everything that it's worth. Because here's the secret: affirmations can be incredibly powerful. They can catalyze and kickstart the most amazing transformations, but not the way that most of us do them. Most of us do affirmations completely wrong. So I'm creating a mini course on amping up your affirmations. And if you're interested, comment below and I will give you a sneak peek at it maybe. Ooh, ooh. Anyways, wherever you are in this big, beautiful, amazing world, have a fabulous day. Enjoy today. Do something naughty. Do something for yourself. Pay attention to your language. Pay attention to the language in your head. Pay attention to the language coming out of your mouth. Pay attention to the language that you're writing, that you're texting. How victimy is your language? How empowered is your language? How can you tweak it ever so slightly so that it actually sounds more confident, more secure, more worthy, and do that. Have a fabulous day. Bye, guys.